Okay, so I'm showing my screen right now. Let me know if you are not able to see anything on the screen. Okay, I remember in the previous lesson, question C is not answered yet. Analyze how a government could reduce pollution. I must say, this kind of question getting more and more popular in your recent papers. Do you know why? Because nowadays we keep talking about sustainability, environment, pollution. So, if you look into the recent papers, right, you can come across, some questions that they may ask you about how to achieve sustainability or to reduce pollution. So this kind of question can be quite uh common recently. Okay, so question C. But then this question I would say consider as a bit more easy, a bit easier. You know why? Because it's a very open question. You can just give any initiative or any solution or any suggestion in terms of how a government can reduce pollution and you can get marks already. So I wouldn't say it's difficult. It's just that it's a bit something new lah, something new that we focus on environment or on pollution. Just like your English structure questions like that. Okay, so can you think of any answers or not? I just want to finish this up quick and then we do the data response. Final things ready. Last one ready. Then if we have time only, I can answer some of your Q&A if you have any Q&A. Well, a lot of things to do today though. Whew. Okay, so question C. Last question for the section B already. So can you think of any ways that a government can reduce pollution? Okay, I give you one tips. In exam, you really do not know what to write, right? You go and write whatever government intervention that you learn. Can you give me some government intervention that you learn or not? Taxes, subsidy, provision of goods and services, regulations, penalties, all this you throw it in. At least you got something to write. You see? Rather than blank or taking time to think, when they ask you how a government can achieve something, you talk about the government intervention that you learn. You learn a lot in your chapter 2 year 10. Okay? You also learn about policy making. You can also write that as well. So I just give some answers here. So because I want to save time. Okay, the first one you can talk about, let's say taxes. Let's say indirect taxes. Indirect taxes is on goods and services. Am I right or not? So therefore, the first thing I can talk about is indirect taxes on polluting goods and services. Any goods and services that could be polluting the environment, okay, or any firms that they may be polluting the environment, government can impose indirect taxes on them. Okay, now how do you elaborate when you talk about indirect taxes already? Very good, you got 1 mark. How do you elaborate? When you talk about indirect taxes, you always relate to the cost. So you can talk about to increase cost of production. When you say to increase cost, you get 1 mark. Okay, to increase cost, you get 1 mark. And then cost increase, what happened to the selling price? So price will be higher as well. You get another mark. 3 marks from here already. Very simple. 3 out of 6. Very fast. Then you can write the second point. Let's say now you want to talk about subsidies. What kind of things that the government can subsidize to reduce pollution? You talk about subsidies, you get 1 mark. Subsidies on what? Renewable energy, green energy. Okay, renewable energy or what we call as environmental friendly technology. Okay, to encourage the firms to be environmental friendly. Okay, or to encourage the firms to produce more of environmental friendly output also can. So you see, I can make it into 3 marks here. Subsidies, okay, on renewable energy. Okay, so what happened? To reduce costs and to increase output of environmental friendly products. Okay, so you can write something like that. If you are not sure of your answers, go with one more extra point if you want to, if you're unsure of your answers. Okay. Now, let's say, what other answers you can think of? Let's see. Sorry, I didn't see the chat box. Yeah, the text on eco-unfriendly products. Okay. Promote recycling. Very good. Okay, thank you, Cindy. Your answers are correct. Correct, Kai Sun. tax the petrol. Okay, when you talk about the tax on petrol is indirect tax, huh? You can be more specific by saying indirect tax on petrol. Okay, increasing the indirect tax on petrol. Okay, Alison talk about, yes, Alison, you're right. Subsidize the production of electric cars. Electric cars will be one of the example to encourage more people using electric cars or to reduce the cost of producing electric cars. They are more environmental friendly. Correct. But you can cut it short. I think, Alison, your answer's a bit too lengthy. Focusing more on the how, okay, on the how. Regulation and law, correct. But how do we elaborate more on regulation and law? Okay, so let me write it down. So actually, yeah, you do not have to write. There's so many answers, you know. The most is only 2 to 3 points only because you have elaborations to help you to score marks. So Cayenne, remember Cayenne, you don't have to write too lengthy. I think your question C sometimes you wrote too lengthy. Okay, you can talk about let's say I talk about penalties of fines, imposing fines or penalties on polluters. This is the best answer, really, law. Or like what Mariam said, by enforcing the law and regulation. Okay, how? Elaborate a bit to restrict the carbon emission, or for example, to reduce the waste disposal also can. You cannot allow the firms to simply pour the chemical waste or any wastage, any waste disposal into the river. Okay, so these are the three answers. Very easily, you get full marks already. So cukup already one. You can move on to a next question because you have sufficient points already. Now, if you want to have more answers as part of learning, I can give you, like, for example, you can talk about education and campaigns, right? Because you talk about how a government can reduce pollution. So talk about education and campaigns, okay? Education and campaigns, like for what? Whenever you talk about education and campaigns, right? You talk about to raise awareness, to raise awareness. Okay, all these are the keywords that you can always use it again and again for tomorrow's exam. To raise awareness, okay? Awareness of what? Of negative externalities lah. Remember, when we talk about pollution, when I ask you the question on pollution, I'm expecting the keywords of negative externalities and external cause. Remember, Kaisun, sometimes I didn't see these two words from your answers. So we talk about that, it can boost your marks for your information. Okay, to raise awareness of negative externalities, okay, of pollution. Okay, can. Okay, so you talk about this keyword, you get another mark also. So you show the examiner that you are applying those econs terminologies that you learn, you see. Some of you say infrastructure can or not. Yes, you can talk about investment in infrastructure. Yes, infrastructure can. Investment in infrastructure. Investment in infrastructure or public transport. Okay, investment in environmental friendly structure. Okay, or public transport. Yes, public transport can. Public transport. Okay, this one also another answer. Okay, then you can talk about to reduce traffic emission. You know, the carbon emissions. Okay, so you can talk about this as well. Yeah, so pretty much these are the some of the answers you can write lah. Okay, so as long as you explain how the method reduce pollution, that's how you score. Yeah, enforcement. Okay, enforcement of law. Yeah, no worries, Ryan. You forgot about our last class. Never mind. Never mind. After today, you can forget every day already. You can forget our class already. Yeah, never mind. It's okay, Ryan. Okay. Increase education. Yes, to raise awareness about pollution. Yeah. Okay. Done. So as usual, I will screenshot this one just in case anyone want to write down. Want to write down. Okay, we are done with section B already. Congratulations. Yes, Ryan, you can say about stop production of those polluting products, but the question is how. You cannot just say stop, but how government is going to stop. The question is about how. So maybe you can talk about laws and regulations. Law and regulations, penalties, stricter laws. You must give the how. So my emphasis will be on the how. Okay, so very good. We are done with the section B questions, and now we move on to section A. Section A already. Okay, Before that, let me just send the one that I screenshot just now. Hold on, give me a quick one, very quick one. Let me just send in the group. Okay, done. All right. So let's continue. Okay. Section A, you are being given with the article. Now remember, Section A, when you answer, you must refer to the article. Do not create your own answers. So Chris, this advice is for you. Sometimes I can see you create your own answers. So don't go and write your own answers for
Oh,
Section
okay.
A. Yeah,
Nice.
no worries. Because Section A, I think you can score even better by just referring to the article. So it's okay. We take this as a practice. You are being given with a table over here. Let's read. Senegal, a Northeast African country, has some of its workers employed in other country. Okay, these workers send a percentage of their wages home to relative. They are sending money back home. This is called as workers' remittance. Okay, you can highlight some keywords. Highlight keywords only. Don't until I later highlight the whole paper already. Okay, so remittance. Okay, due to their relatively low income, most Senegalese households spend all of this remittance. However, some households do not spend all of the money they receive when the interest rate are high or when the confidence is low. So there are certain scenario or situations where they change their spending behavior. A relatively high proportion of workers in Senegal are employed in agriculture. The crops grown in Senegal are affected by extreme heat and droughts. These weather conditions are one of the reasons why the countries grow the crop sorghum, which is one of the crop, which does not need much water during its growth. So therefore, this is why they only focus on this crop sorghum. Sorghum is low in calories, so can help people who consume it to lose weight. For information, when I was looking at this paper, I don't even know what the hell is sorghum. So you might come across situation like this that you do not know what the crop is that. And so I Google and see. But anyway, they give you some hints because later there will be one question asking you about the demand for sorghum. Okay, so at least they give you some info. Sorghum is low in calories and help people to lose weight. Okay, so at least they give you some info, even though if you don't know what is sorghum. I really do not know what is that when I was reading this article. Okay, now next one. Senegal is a net exporter of sorghum. It is also the largest African exporter of rice after Nigeria. Greater use of capital equipment in the production of both sorghum and rice could affect productivity. This may reduce the deficit on the current account of the Senegal's balance of payment. Okay, so meaning to say that maybe they will start to export more and import less. Okay, the Senegalese government wants to develop the country's secondary and tertiary sectors. They want to develop other sectors to improve the country's economic performance. It also expects that this will reduce poverty as measured by those living on the 6.85 or less a day. You see, this is very, very poor already, you know. People who are living less than $6.85 or less per day. Absolute poverty, we are referring to absolute poverty here. Can you live less than 6 ringgit per day or not? Cannot, ma. So when you talk about poverty here, they are talking about absolute here. Table 1.1 shows GDP per head and the percentage of population living in the poverty in selected countries. You have this table that looks into two variables, which are GDP per head and the percentage of the population living in poverty. Okay, now last few paragraph. Actually, this article concept is quite direct already, you know, so not very difficult. Okay, a related aim of the Senegalese government is to increase the country's HDI value. Okay, governments can use fiscal policy measure to improve three components of their HDI value, including life expectancy. This article very kind, at least they give you a hint. One of the component is life expectancy. You can copy the answers later already. Some articles, they don't want to tell you what are the three components of HDI. You go and figure out yourself in the exam. Okay, changes in the fiscal policy can also affect the markets for Senegalese products, including gold. Okay, so that means it will affect the gold market. Among the influences on the price elasticity of demand for gold are, they give you answers, highlight changes in income, availability of substitutes, and the extent of which gold is seen as a luxury. I can assure you, usually the last two paragraphs, the last two paragraphs in your section A usually will be asked as a discussion question in your section A. Usually. So look into the passage to see if you can get any answers or not when you answer the questions. Okay, so answer all parts of the question 1 and you must, section A you must, section B no need, but section A you must refer to the source material. First question, calculate the value of Senegal's workers' remittance in 2023. Okay, so we calculate the remittance. So here we say that, you see, workers' remittance as a percentage of GDP is 9%. Okay, 9% of GDP. So you use 9% times this one. Okay, workers' remittance as a percentage of GDP is 9%. So very simple. We do it on the screen. We do it on the screen. We do point form also. So let me write down question A. Question A, 9% of 31 billion. I got calculator or not? Today I don't have calculator. Yeah. Okay, 31 billion, 9% of 31, 9%. How much? Remember to write the unit, 2.79 billion. Okay. Okay. Depends, Kai-sun. Because maybe in this country, they set their absolute priority is 6 point something per day. Depends on the country. Depends on the country itself. Yeah, so it depends. Yes, 2.79. Very good. Okay. What is remittance? Remittance means like, for example, when you work in overseas, you send money back home. Your family receive the money that you send home is what we call as remittance. In Mandarin, it's called 外汇, is it? I'm not too sure what is it called in Mandarin already. I remember there's a term for that. Like when you work in UK, for example, you work in UK, you send the money back home. The money that you send home is called remittance. There's a Chinese term for that. I can't remember. I think it's 外汇. Can't remember. Yeah. Okay. Next one. This kind of question. Don't go and create your own answers already. Identify true influences on household spending in Senegal. True mistake, First, don't create your own answer. Second, don't go and explain. I can still see some students love to explain. For what? 2 marks only, you explain for what? Okay, so influence on household spending. Now, if in exam you really cannot find the answers, tips is, this is the question at the front, right? The answers are at the front, lor. See, question B only, Question B means the answers are in the first or second paragraph only. So therefore, can you find the answers or not? What are the influence that could influence the household spending? Very good. Cindy, you are right. High interest rate, confidence, and also income. Income also will influence. I believe the income also is one of the answers. So I believe there are 3 answers here. Because now we still don't have the mark scheme, by the way. So I assume there are 3 answers for this one. You can talk about the interest rate, confidence level. I believe income is also an answer. Your level of income will also influence your household spending. Yeah. Very good. Okay. Yeah, just write that. If just Xin Hui, you are right. You just write interest rate. Because what they're asking you, okay, let's see the question again. Shit. I said erase. Hold on. Okay. Identify true influences on household spending. Yeah, can. Interest rate, confidence level, and income. Yeah. Correct? Oh? Can. Betul. Okay, done already. Okay, so far very easy, Okay. No need. You don't have to mention that. Okay, next one. Whether you mention it or not, it doesn't matter. So even if you accidentally write that, that's fine also. So no problem, Xin Yeah, so it's not a concern. Okay, now, next one. Explain one cause of a decrease in the quality of land use in agriculture in Senegal. One cause of a decrease in the quality of land in Senegal. One cause of a decrease in the quality of land. Explanation question, 2 marks, point, and explanation. Can find the answer or not? This one is 2 marks only, huh? So 2 marks explanation, point, and explanation. That's all. Yeah, this one, extreme heat and droughts. Okay? Yeah, extreme heat and drought. So that's the answer. Only one answer. You don't have any other answers ready, but you must explain. If you don't know where is the answer, you copy the whole article inside. Okay, so yeah, extreme heat and droughts. Okay, extreme heat and droughts. Okay, 1 mark. Explain. How is this? How is this affecting the quality of land? How is this resulting in decreasing the quality of land use in agriculture? Hmm. You talk about something about the crops. Yes, Elena, you are right. You talk about the crops. Discourage. Okay. You can talk about making it difficult for the crops to grow. Okay. So I can say making it difficult for the crops to grow. Okay, so the quality of land is not good, lor. Soil erosion. But you must talk about how it affects the quality. I want to talk about the quality of land. Land is the natural resources. Crops is under land. Crops is basically a natural resource. So making it difficult for the crops to grow or to produce a crop. Yeah, some just like that. Just keep it short. Or like what Cindy say, discourage the growth. Discourage the growth of crops. Yes, just leave it like that. Okay, make it difficult for crops to grow. Okay, done. Move on. Question donkey. Explain how greater use of capital equipment in agriculture could reduce the deficit on the current account. This one a bit challenging already. 4 marks. Okay, 4 marks, What do I want? Okay, remember this question? Greater use of capital equipment, how to reduce the deficit. Refer to the question paper. You have the question paper in the group. Okay, so this one, where's the part? Is here. Okay, here. Okay, this one. This is the answer here. Okay, what do I need for this question? I need 2 answers, 4 marks, So what do I expect? I will need point 1 and explain, point 2 and explain. Again, point you don't go and create your own point yourself, You take from the answers. Okay, so can you think of the reason why greater use of capital will reduce deficit based on the paragraph here? You give me the keywords, I teach you something new later, how to write easily. I give you some cheat sheet, not cheat sheet, some easy tips. Let's see. Productivity. Yes, productivity is 1. Betul. Okay, productivity is 1. Wow, today goes. Okay, yeah, okay. What else? Today is the only class that I got full attendance, I think. Because tomorrow got exam, Okay, hey, by the way, Kayen, I think you don't have this paper, right? I send it over to you now, Kayen. Okay. Another answers? This one a bit difficult, no? Okay. Kaison, you are right already. I need to help you to change a bit. Net exporter, something to do with the exporter. They are exporter, right? Later, you must talk about the net exporter. These two things. These two things, you must talk about it later. Okay, I will help you how. Hold on first. Now, I want to give you a tips. I want to give you a tips. Every time when you talk about productivity, okay, when you want to explain productivity, okay, you can focus on these two things. Productivity. Productivity means efficiency, right? Productivity means efficiency. So productivity will affect cost and will affect output. So higher productivity will result in lower cost and higher total output. Okay, so that's something I can elaborate later. Okay, so therefore, later when I answer this question, right, I must relate to how it reduced the deficit. I do the sample for you now. Okay. Yes, correct, Xin Hui. So, how to write the answers for this question? Donkey. Okay, donkey. Let me see the question again. How greater use of capital reduce deficit? Reduce deficit. Okay, reduce deficit. Reduce deficit. Okay, come. Let's write the answers here. Okay. You try to write concisely. Okay, capital. Okay, use of capital. Okay, capital improve productivity. 1 mark. Why? Because I copy from the article, right? The point is from the article, okay? Which reduces cost, and hence cheaper, and you can talk about local price become more competitive, and hence price become internationally competitive. Okay? Cheaper for foreigners to buy. So every time you talk about cost can relate to price. Okay, so capital improve productivity, which reduce cost, and hence price become internationally competitive. Okay, so you answer the question already though, because you want to say how it reduce deficit Okay, 2 marks already. You see, we talk about lower cost. So tips, lower cost will always lead to lower price. Okay. All right. Now continue. I want to talk about net exporter. Okay, hold on. Alena asked, teacher, internationally competitive means that price is so low that lots of countries want to buy your products because of that. Yes, correct. But China, you can use that example. But yeah, your understanding is correct. Your understanding is correct. Yeah, internationally competitive means that your product is so price competitive among all the country. Correct. Okay, next one. I want to say, yeah, also about productivity, right? Okay, so you can say capital also, we talk about productivity already, right? So capital also increases output, total output. Okay, capital also increase total output. So I want to talk about the net exporter. Okay, capital also increases total output. Okay. Okay, I change a bit. Capital also makes Senegal as the main net exporter, okay, of sorghum. Makes them as the main net exporter of sorghum. Okay, 1 mark because you talk about net exporter because it results in higher total output. Why I suddenly talk about higher total output? Because productivity productivity will reduce cost and increase total output. Okay, so more to be sold, more can be exported. Okay, because it results in higher total output. Okay, or higher total exports, which can be sold. Okay, which can be sold for other country. If you want to write that also can. Higher total output to be exported. Okay, just like that. So meaning to say, for this question, what makes me to be able to score is because first I talk about productivity and I extend the elaboration by focusing on what? By focusing on the cost. I talk about the cost and focusing on the total output. Okay. and I relate through the statement to the article by talking about productivity and also the net exporter. The net exporter. Net exporter. That means they are mainly exporting Stockholm. So here we are answering how the use of capital allows them to be the main exporter of Stockholm. Okay. So therefore, back to your normal question. In a normal question, when you want to talk about the impacts of productivity, you talk about cost, lower cost will result in lower price. Output becomes higher. You can say more to be exported. More can be exported. Okay, more can be exported, meaning to say that you can talk about improving the current account. You can talk about improving the current account, or you can talk about economic growth. These are your elaboration for you to score higher in your discussion question. Okay, so you see, it's a very good answers. You extend, you talk about the impacts of productivity in terms of cost and output, and then you elaborate more. This result in lower price, and more can be exported, and achieving economic growth, and so on. Okay, so these are some tips for you. Okay, if in exam you have no idea and you write net exporter and productivity, then only 2 marks lor. That means that there's the keywords, there's the points only, no explanation. No explanation lor. You get 2 out of 4 lor. 2 out of 4. Okay, 2 out of 4. You explain a bit lah. You just explain a bit. Yeah. Okay, this one done. Okay, the next question. I have something to talk about. Graph. Question E. Draw a demand and supply diagram to show how more people trying to lose weight would affect the market for Sohom. Okay, 4 marks. Tell me, do you need to go and explain or not this one? No need. Okay, only drawing graph, right? What if I set it into 5 marks? If it's a 5 marks, 4 marks for diagram and 1 mark for explanation. Correct? Okay. There is one thing. Yeah, 1 mark for statement. Correct, Kaisun. One thing I want to emphasize. I know a lot of you use pencil to draw graph, right? But please make sure that it can be seen clearly when it is scanned though. I realized that some of you do questions for me to mark last time. Okay. You scan for me, like Kaisun or Chris, sometimes you send it for me, right? Are you aware that the graph drawing part is not clear? Like Kaisun, are you aware that? You not very clear though. So please make sure it is clear though. Yeah, it's not really clear. It's not really clear. I have to zoom in a bit. Yeah, not really clear. Try and see back. So make sure when you draw using pencil, make sure it is clear though, because your papers are going to be a scan paper anyway when it is marked. Yeah, but make sure it is clear lah. Make sure it's there because when I see your paper, I'm not sure what pencil that some of you using. When it is being scanned for me, it's not very clear. If you want, for me, I draw it with pen because since they are allowed to use, because your writing is using pen, right? So I don't mind, I'm confident. Your writing is all pen, right? Yeah. So, yeah, correct or not, Maya? Because the entire paper we using pen. If it's a graph, I think okay, right, to use pen, right? Right now, did they say cannot? Because during my time, I can use pen. Then pen, no. The reason why students prefer pencil because they're scared that they make mistake, so they have to erase. They cannot erase because you cannot use correction tab, right? Until today, cannot bring correction tab, isn't it? Yeah, correction tab cannot. Liquid paper also cannot. You can only cross it out. So this is why students not confident. So they will use pencil, which is okay. If I'm not mistaken, it's okay one. Pencil should be okay one. But then it's really not clear. No, I mean that's my opinion because when you send me for marking, when some of you send me for marking, I do not find it clear. So we do not know how they're going to scan your paper. If it's not clear, then 4 marks gone already. Okay, so yeah, the answer is increase in demand. Correct. So I'm just going to draw this one. Do I need to draw? Okay, I draw. Last time, final last time already. Next time, no, I draw it on the right hand side. Well, very hard to draw. Question E, just draw. And make sure you label everything. Okay, so I'm using mouse to annotate, so a bit slow. Price. Okay, if you forgot what is price, you put dollar sign. Oh. Price. Okay, this is the origin. This is your quantity. This is your demand curve. And this is your supply curve. Hey, and also one more thing, when you do the question, make sure you answer all the question, I think some of you sometimes will miss out some question. So make sure that you don't miss out any questions when you do the paper. Okay, so at first, this is the price. And this is the quantity. Quantity. Okay. Then now you shift the graph, the demand curve increases. Demand increases D1. And this is your E1. You label everything, Okay, you. Okay, and then your price, P1 here, and Q1 here. Okay, how it is being marked? 4 marks. I believe you are expert in this already. So first of all, y-axis and x-axis, 1 mark. Demand supply, 1 mark. The shift is 1 mark. And the final labeling of the new equilibrium is in the mark. So 4 marks. Okay, 4 marks. As long as it's clear, then no problem. Some pencil are very clear. That's why they ask you to use the HB or the B. No, some pencil are very clear, isn't it? Usually it can be very clear one, but I'm not sure. Maybe sometimes some of you draw it very gentle. So therefore, when some of you send me for marking, you are using phone to scan, right? So therefore, maybe the scanning not good or what, I'm not sure because sometimes it's very unclear. Sometimes I receive the papers that some of you draw the graph not clear one. So that's why I'm just concerned. So therefore, I just brought it up. But if your pencil is good and you draw it very clear, then no problem lah. Yeah. Kaisun, you say you use the scanner on your home printer, then that must be very good. That mean your scanning machine should be very near to the real scanning machine, like what they use for scanning paper already, isn't it? That means some of your drawing is not very clear, really not clear. Lor. Your drawing is not clear. That drawing is not clear already. Okay, next question. Question E. Question F. Question F. Question F. Hey, do I need to screenshot this one first? Okay, hold on. I screenshot. Wait, hold on. Tunggu jap. I screenshot for you all first before I erase. Okay, hold on. I screenshot this one first. Okay, I actually want to focus more on G and hash actually, but never mind. We do quickly for question F first. F, Analyze the relationship between GDP per head and the percentage of population living in poverty. So 5 marks, 5 marks. This is a table. Okay, we analyze this table. Who want to do this question and I mark on the spot? This one, question F. Let me send something in the group first. Hold on, let me send first. Okay. Okay, who want to okay, Xin asked, does the arrow count as a mark? Depends, Okay, this is a good question, Xin okay, so hold on, let me show you. If you do not draw the arrow, but you indicated which one is the new graph, then it's okay. Example, if let's say I didn't draw my arrow, but then you see I label my demand curve as D1 or you label as D2, okay? As long as there's a labeling to show that there is a new demand curve there, then even without the arrow, that's fine. As long as you are able to indicate where the graph shift, either using the arrow or using the indicator. Okay, so not necessary to draw the arrow. All right, now next question, quick one. Can we do this very, very quick? What is the relationship between these two variables? You only have 5 minutes to do this. Can we write point form? Because now we want to save time, so we write point form. And again, what is the tips for this one? Do not copy data. Strictly no copy of data. Really no copy of data. You will never know how it is being marked. Like I remember I told you, there was a time that I think the moment they saw data, they just didn't give you any marks. It's okay. Anyway, let's just answer this question because that story told a lot of times already. Okay, yeah. So what is the inverse relationship? Correct. Negative on inverse. Okay, I write point form because I want to save time. But in exam, you don't write point form, Okay, I write full answers. Okay, I write full answers. Okay. So generally, that is a negative. Negative also means inverse. Inverse means one up, one down. Okay. Okay. There is a negative relationship. Okay. As the higher the GDP per head, the lower the percentage of population living in poverty. 2 marks already. Yeah. Okay. Okay, what's next? Example. Iceland. Yes, Kaisun, you got it right already. Okay. Yes, I can see Cindy answer as well. Wait, Iceland. Okay, let's talk about Iceland. Okay, for example, Iceland. Remember, use comparative words. Do not copy data. Has the highest GDP per head and their percentage of population living in poverty is the lowest. Okay. Cindy gave the reasoning, which is good. Okay, you can use this reasoning. This is because they have higher average income per person, so less chance of being poor. So that means they can afford lah. So that means this is because they have higher average income. So this is because you can say this is due to higher average income per person. Okay, so have higher purchasing power. Okay. What else? The lowest one is what? You can talk about Senegal. Okay, Senegal. Also, Senegal has the lowest, I think they are the lowest, has the lowest GDP per head, and their percentage of population living in poverty is, this one is what? Second lowest, right? Second highest, sorry, second highest. Second highest. Okay. Full marks ready, Okay, anomaly. Exception. Can you find exception? Yes, Papua New Guinea. The one is the exception. Yes. Yeah, okay. So you can talk about, however, okay, I write another part here, because no enough space already. Wait, good job. Let me use black color better. Black, easier to see. Okay. Then I continue. However, okay, Papua New Guinea Okay, is the exception. Okay, you identified correctly already. Explain. Okay, because their GDP per head is higher than Senegal. Okay, Senegal, correct, higher, okay, but their percentage of population living in poverty is the highest. Yeah, very easy. I get full marks already. More than that, so easy. Okay, now you got the techniques ready. Full answers ready. We do very fast. Okay. What is the word for like in the table, one of it doesn't match with others? Exception or anomaly. So we call it as exception. Some of you call it as anomaly. Right? Did I spell correctly? Exception. Okay. By the way, Megan, I saw the one that you wrote in Mandarin one, they call it as 狼人. They play the game 狼人杀, is it? That's why they want to find the 狼人 inside all the variables. I saw your annotations there, the Chinese annotation by some from 小红书 one. Or anomaly, sorry, my mistake, my spelling, sorry, my bad. Thanks, Mariam. Yeah, 找出狼人. Okay, find the imposter. Okay, yeah, this is the answer. Okay, now question G and hash. G and hash. G and hash, so far I can see majority of you can score full marks actually. Like even like Kaisun, you see discussion question you can get full marks for section A. Chris also can, no? Yeah, so I think not a problem for you all actually. Okay, question G. Discuss whether or not fiscal policy measures will increase the country HDI value. Okay, so the answer is from here, easy one. Okay, think of the answer. Let me screenshot the one just now first. Let me send the group. Okay, can I answer question G or not? Anyone want to try to write the full answers for me to mark or not? G and hash. G and hash. But hash, I want to do it with you. Hash, I want to do with you. Hash. You can see, you got answers here. They give you hints already, hints. You do question G, I do question hash. Like that, we do one. We separate the work. Hash, I help you. G must do for me. Anyone want to try or not? At least I want to mark at least one person answer, see whether anyone want to try or not. Hey, by the way, and you all got anything to ask or not? If you have anything to ask, then after we finish this one, we can spend more time on Q&A. I can overrun a bit if you are not rushing. If you're rushing, you can leave first later. If I overrun a bit, Okay, question G. Okay, never mind. I do question hash first. Question G, I'll come back to you. Okay, question hash. Discuss whether or not demand for gold will be more price elastic in the future. This kind of question are very, very common. I can change the question. I can ask you demand for electric cars, demand for chocolate, or demand for anything, whether it will be price elastic or inelastic in the future. Okay, so I want to say yes, it will be more elastic first. You want to write point form or full answers? Point form can Okay. Uh, what will cause the demand for gold to be more price elastic? Point form, okay. Elastic, let's talk about elastic first. The points to support, agree that it will be elastic. Then after that, disagree, inelastic. Okay, I want to say demand for gold will be price elastic for now. They are substitutes. Very good. Okay, good. First one. They are availability of substitutes. One mark. Explain. What are the substitutes for gold? What are the substitutes for gold? Silver, platinum. Very good. Give example. Lor. Okay, so you can say maybe in the future there are other substitutes that can replace gold, such as silver, diamond. Can diamond replace gold? Okay, never mind, diamond. Okay, or other assets lah. Any other financial assets? You wouldn't know. Maybe there are other financial assets. Okay. Okay, that's one answers. 2 marks ready. Yay. What else, huh? Another answer? Okay, hold on. Cindy got one answers for the question. Question G. Hold on. Okay. So I paste Cindy answer first. Give me a while. Give Cindy answer here first. Oh, okay. Later I mark. Hey, this is okay. Never mind. Later I mark. Later, okay, very wordy, the screen. Sorry, my bad. Okay. Wait, I think Cindy, a lot of your answers very lengthy already. You need to cut it shorter a bit. Never mind, later we cut it short. Hey, another answers to say is elastic. The answers are here already, man. Luxury lah. The types of goods, you want to say is the demand for gold is price elastic. So the other one, what can talk about? You can say gold is luxury. You can survive without gold, isn't it? Type of goods. Because of the types of goods. Okay, because gold is seen as a luxury, as people can survive even without having gold. It's not something a necessity. You just say that it's not a necessity. Okay, done. Disagree. Elena, you are right. You can talk about income as well. You can say income can affect the elasticity as well. But do you know why I didn't talk about income there? Because I want to put the income here. Okay, so also can, you want to put that on the top also can, up to you. Hey, any other, only few of you answering me, okay. Disagree, you can talk about income level. Okay, you can talk about changes in income. You can. Not wrong. Changes in income. How do you explain? How do you say changes in income will make the demand for gold inelastic? How? Maybe people's income increasing. So therefore, they are not so price sensitive to buy these kind of items already. Right? Because I want to say the demand for gold is price inelastic now. Price inelastic. Price inelastic. So how to explain? You can say, you can say income becomes higher, so people are less price sensitive towards assets like gold. Okay, less price sensitive. Okay, or you can say as it may only take a small proportion of their income. Okay, so price inelastic. People become richer. So when they want to buy gold, gold is like nothing for them. So income becomes higher, so people are less price sensitive towards asset like gold, as it may only take a small proportion of income. Okay? I don't know. So therefore, people are not price sensitive, right? You can explain a bit more. Hence, so a huge percentage change in price will only result in a small percentage change in quantity demanded. Settle. Full marks law, this one. Very good, huh? Okay, done. Hey, put 5 star for this question. I want you to put 5 star for this question. This one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why? Because I can ask you go, or I can change the question to chocolate. Can change the question to electric cars. I can change the question to cars. This is my favorite question though. If I set the paper, I should ask this question. Okay, I love to ask this question as an 8 marks question. 8 marks. 6 marks easy for you, man. So usually you can see this as it's being asked as an 8 marks question. Okay, done. Okay, so where you get all these answers, the answers are determinants of PD. The hints, determinants of PD. Okay. Next. Very good, Mariam. Your answers are correct. The economy is unpredictable in the future, so people buy gold as the price is stable. You can say gold is deemed as a safe asset. Kai-Sun, change the sentence. You can say economy is unpredictable and gold is seen as a safer asset. Then people will buy gold, so the demand for gold is price inelastic. Not about the price. You cannot say the price is stable. You can say the economy is unpredictable and then the gold is seen as a safe asset, which is true. Until now, which is true. When economy is uncertain, people will buy gold. Okay, so the demand for gold is price inelastic. Go ahead, Ken. That is a very creative answer, which is not in the article, but you can get the marks because it's a discussion question. Thank you, Kai-Sun. That is a very creative answers. Everyone can learn now. Gold is a safe asset until today. Okay. Yeah, agree. Liana, you are right. If let's say when we say that the country has a lot of rich people, so gold, the demand for gold is price inelastic, so which is correct lah. That means a lot of wealthier people, so the country people can afford to buy gold. Very good. Okay, next. Again, another question. Can I talk about how it is a good future investment as the price of gold rise, making the price inelastic? We are talking about the demand, so it's not about the price of the item that makes a demand price inelastic. Unless Anup, what you are saying is the gold asset is very safe, it's very certain. So therefore, people will buy as a future investment. Correct, Kai-Sun? You're right. Yes, correct. Okay, so next one. Just now, discuss whether or not fiscal policy measure will increase the country HDI value. Okay, let's see. Correct. First one. When you want to answer this question, they ask about fiscal policy, right? Okay lah, relate to expansionary. This is very smart. But then, why suddenly lower interest rate coming out? Hey, how come suddenly lower interest rate? Why suddenly lower interest rate here? Cannot. Now you see, the first thing is very good, fiscal policy good. But then when I see lower interest rate, higher rate of borrowing, highlight. No more already. No more already. Fiscal policy war. Uh-oh. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. It's okay. Let's see. Maybe you can get some marks at the back. This enable consumers to purchase more products, fulfilling their wants and needs. Okay. Hey, how is this increasing HDI value? A bit unclear. Never mind. Later I help you. Higher government spending can also this is correct already. It's correct already. Okay. Very good. The spending also in build school, train teachers. Okay, good. Hey, but this is too lengthy. I only did this to agree. I still don't have disagree. No enough place to paste already. So never mind, I help you. Okay, so we use Cindy answers as a template. I put it into black. I put brown. Okay, change a bit. So when we talk about expansion fiscal policy, with higher government spending. Like this. One mark. Can invest in better hospital funding clinics, providing medical treatment. Okay, better, correct. This increases life expectancy. Very good. Yes. The spending can also be used to build school, train teachers. Very good. Which will increase the expected use of schooling. Very good. Betul. Okay, but this one I can only give you maximum 4 out of 6 for now because it's only agree. I want to put disagree here. Disagree. Now I want to put disagree, Ayo, hold on. Erase this one first. We are very efficient, We almost finished already. Yeah. Okay. The disagree is where, shit, cannot find already. Where is your disagree answers, Can you paste again? Wait. Okay. Thank you. Okay. It will not, because government spending can lead to higher. Whoa, this is very good. Yes, inflation. This can lead to higher aggregate demand, correct? And demand pull inflation, very good. This will raise the price of goods and make it. Then how is that not increasing HDI value? You must say, this one explanation not cantik, not nice. Okay, I will help you. And demand pull inflation. So higher price. Okay, what are the three components under the HDI? The schooling, the education, the life aspect, the healthcare. One more. What is the another one? Living standards. Living standards, right? Yeah, living standards by looking into the total income of the people earned in the country. So yes, correct. You just write that. So higher price will reduce their living standards, or reducing their total income also can. But if I were you, I will write another answers. I will say maybe the quality is not good. So therefore, the quality of the healthcare and education is not good. So that could result in lower education and poor healthcare. I can comment about the quality. So mean to say I can talk about the quality. I use another color. I can talk about the quality. I can say poor quality. Okay. Which will affect the education, poor education, and the healthcare level. I can talk about like this. But anyway, your answers are correct. Thank you, Cindy. Your answers are very good. Hey, by the way, Cindy, you are sitting your exams in October, right? Not May, June, right? Yeah, I think it's October. Okay. Good. So therefore, you have time to do more practice. Keep it up, I scared that after within the few months period, that suddenly you forgot all the econs concepts already. Yeah. Yeah, less total income or less living standards, lower living standards. Okay, lower living standards, decreasing HDI. Okay, decreasing HDI. Decreasing HDI. Okay, done. Yeah, finally done. Okay, now, today I didn't give any break. Is that okay? Because I have some Q&A to answer. So if you want to go to break, you want to go for a toilet break, you can go. But today very intense, so therefore I didn't give a break. Very sorry about that. Okay, now, so far so good. I finished this one already. Okay. So I screenshot this one first. Let me send in the group. Okay. Now, I can see a lot of the students have the weakness when it comes to macro questions. Macro. Example question G that you see just now it is a macro question. So take note of macro questions. Now it depends on the luck, like sometimes you see okay, so we are done with this full paper. We are done with this full paper. Okay. So I erase everything. Okay, now you see when you answer your section B, right? I know you can choose, but you know that in one full question, it is a combination of different questions of different topics, right? What if all the question donkey that carry 8 marks are all macro question? Then you have a problem, you see. Okay, so therefore, all these question donkey, right? Okay, sometimes it depends on luck. We're not sure whether what kind of question you will be getting. But one thing I must mention that is that I can see until today, some of you still do not do very well when it comes to a macro question. Now, why macro questions are harder to score? Because first, when you answer a question something to do with a macro or with the international trade, the keywords that you use must be more specific, must be more in-depth. Maybe some of you are still not very familiar with the concept, so therefore are not able to go too much in-depth. But I saw that when the question is something about year 10, I can see some of you wrote very well. Okay, so that's something to highlight to you all. Okay, continue next one. There is a question about this one. Okay, hold on. Yeah, this one I'm showing my screen. One Q&A, this question. So can you tell me question 13? Question 13, what is the answer? Question 13 that you see on my screen right now. I believe you can see on the screen. Okay, so question 13, what will be your answers? What will cause the shift from ATC1 to ATC2? Think about it first. And meanwhile, I will draw something on the right to show you another scenario for another situation. So you ignore my drawing first for now. You see the question first, question 13 that you can see on my board, on my screen, sorry. What will be your answers for question 13? This is one of the Q&A asked by one of you. So therefore, we discuss it straight away on the spot. Okay. Okay. Sorry, my mouse is a bit, yeah. Okay, so am I ATC? Okay, now let's see the chat box. Let's see what answers that you have provided for me. Oi, oi, hello. No, only Anuv got it right. Cindy got it right. Haha. So what is the answer? Luckily, got some of you asked. No. So far, only two of you answer it correctly. So what's the answer? Hey, the rest eh? Hello? I can only... Wow, the rest, I didn't ask you all to answer. You all are here or not? Hi, Sinling. Are you okay? And Gerlin? Are you okay, Gerlin? Karen? Siobhan, what is your answer for this one? Yeah, the answer is B-boy. B-boy, huh? This is something to do with external economy of scale. Okay? You cannot go and circle economy of scale. Oh. Okay, you see, what do we mean by external economy of scale? Think about the definition first. External economy of scale means a cost advantage due to external factors. It's nothing to do with your own production. It's not because you produce more and therefore you get a cost advantage. No. How do you know? You see, ATC 1 to ATC 2, right? Your cost remain the same, isn't it? Your output remain the same, isn't it? But then your cost become lower. You see, at first we are here. You see my blue dotted lines. I'm so sorry today. My annotation is not nice because I'm using mouse. So you see, at first you are at this point. At this point, at this output, I can give a number. For example, 10 output. Okay, 10 output. Your cost at first is at 20. Okay, but then your output remain the same. You see, but your cost becomes lower. So your cost become lower, not because of your production. You are still producing 10 output, but then now your cost become 10. So in this scenario, you cannot choose anything that is due to your internal decisions. So therefore, you cannot circle anything that has anything to do with economy of scale. Wrong. Okay. This one, difficulty in controlling the firms is this economy of scale. This economy of scale means the cost start to go up. So this is wrong as well. So what you can choose is external factors. You benefit the cost advantage due to the external factors. A cannot be the answers because A is this economy of scale. My question, if today I want you to show me a graph that shows economy of scale, although so far it has never been asked in paper 2, no. Paper 1, sometimes they'll ask how the graph looks like if it's economy of scale. Economy of scale. If it's economy of scale, it's because of more output. Example, at first you are at this point. Okay? So at first, you are producing 10 output. Okay? At first, you are producing 10 output. Okay? And then your cost is, for example, 20. Okay? So at first, you are at this, my red color dotted line. Okay? Now, let's say you produce more. You produce more. From 10, you produce more to 30. Oh, you produce more. Okay? Then you got some cost advantage. You see? So therefore, you can see the movement along. So you can see that now you are producing more output, let's say up to 30. Okay, up to 30. And your cost also becomes lower, becomes 10, for example. Okay, average cost becomes 10 per unit of output. So from here, what you can see here, this I can show it as an economy of scale. When you produce more output, your average cost becomes lower. So this is the part that you can show it as economy of scale. Okay, I believe they will not really ask in paper 2, but mostly in paper 1. Okay, so this is the economy of scale. Now, can you show this economy of scale? Can you show this economy of scale from this graph? Can. Macam mana? So we just continue to draw. I show it over here. Okay, so if you want to show this economy of scale on this graph, okay, I use blue color now. That means they continue to produce more. For example, they continue to produce more. But what happens is when they continue to produce more, the cost now become even higher. Okay, maybe become 25. So I use blue color. Everyone see the blue color dotted lines. Let's say now they produce more to 50 units of output. What happens is the average cost suddenly becomes 23. Oh, so mean to say what? Mean to say this is when this economy of scale kicks in. So when they produce more total output, what happens is the average cost starts to go up. Okay, so from here, okay, when the cost start to go up, you can talk about this economy of scale. Okay. So therefore, this is when they have difficulties or coordination problems or communication problem in the workforce already. So when you can see that the cost start to go up. Now, please take note one thing. I repeat, I do not think this will ask in paper 2. So you do not have to worry for tomorrow. Okay, but take note, economy of scale and this economy of scale will be a concept that you will surely be using it tomorrow. Confirm. Okay, that one is confirmed. But then the graph, the most they can ask is in paper 1. As far as your syllabus is concerned, you haven't learned any graph about economy of scale and this economy of scale yet. So therefore, if they really want to ask you anything about economy of scale and this economy of scale in terms of graph, this is the kind of graph they can ask you only. Actually, this is still not a proper graph to show economy of scale and this economy of scale because you haven't learned until very in-depth yet until A level. So the most they can test you is to ask you to show economy of scale and this economy of scale from this ATC graph. But when you go A level, we do not use ATC graph to show economy of scale and this economy of scale. This is not so accurate. But because now you are just in IGCSE syllabus, the most they can ask you is just like this for now. Okay, but bear in mind, when you go A level, you will learn a proper graph for economy of scale and this economy of scale. What you learn here is just a basic. It's just a basic, which the graph is still not a very clear picture yet. Okay, so that is one question, one Q&A. I believe this Q&A is good. I think everyone is learning it now. Okay, very good. Okay, do I need to screenshot this one? I guess no need. If you need, you take a picture by yourself, lor, because I think this one just a quick discussion. The second Q&A, I think from Kai Sun. Kai Sun, I think I want to discuss one of the question that you sent me today, which I really have no time to mark. I think something to do with the air traveling one. One of the question, donkey, air traveling. There was a question about air traveling. Okay, hold on. Amber asked the macro topic you mentioned in chapter 6, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6, especially 4 and 6. 4 and 6 are the chapters that usually students do not master very well. So if you have time, you can study a bit. But anyway, now no time already. Today, what you should do is just to chill. Go to watch a movie. And then tomorrow go for exam. Chill. No need to do anything already. No need to do anything already. Okay, yeah. Okay, this one is done. If anyone want to take photo, you can take photo for this one because I didn't save. Okay, next question. Next Q&A. This one done. I erase this one first. Need to wait for a while. No need. Okay, can. Got recording, no problem. Okay, this one done. Okay, Kai Sun, you have a question that you're not too sure. I think this is the question, right? Discuss whether or not the global economy would benefit from an increase in air travel. Because I saw you wrote an annotation in your paper. I don't have time to mark, really sorry about that. So therefore, I want to discuss it on right now. Again, I might overrun today. Just bear with me. If you are rushing, you can leave first. I'm sorry about that. Okay, yeah. So this one is an open question. So they're asking how a global economy will benefit from an increase in air travel. Air travel. Okay. Now, before you look into answers here, the first thing you can talk about is mobility, geographical mobility. So to agree, when you see this kind of question, it's an open question. Don't make it complicated. This is a micro things on it actually. Micro, macro, mix, like it's just an English essay. So the first thing you can talk about is improving geographical mobility. But Kaisun, for this question, I mark, I mark and I saw that you didn't score very well. It's only 3 to 4 marks only. Why? The first answer you told me is the students can go overseas to study and improve skills. Now, when you say students go overseas to study and improve skills, that is too far. Because I'm focusing on increase in air travel and you're telling me improving skills and qualification. That is not correct already. You must change your question to improving geographical mobility. Okay, improving geographical mobility. That's one. Second thing, what do you talk about? Yeah, I forgot. What is your second point? What is your second point? Yeah, what is your second point that you talk about? Transportation. I think you talk about something about transport. You talk about something to do with transportation. I can't remember what I said, but your explanation is not good. Okay, so how? Transportation, okay, you must talk about lower cost. Reducing cost of transportation. Okay, that's one. Reducing cost of transportation. So, and increasing efficiency. Okay, these are the words that you must use to explain these keywords. Increasing efficiency, ease the deliveries of goods and services. Okay, you can say more trade. I think you talk about more trade, but it's just that the explanation not good. Okay, more trade. More trade. More trade. Okay, more international trade. More international trade. Okay, so the second point, you are okay, but just that the explanation is not good. Okay, now disagree. You talk about pollution, that is good. But then you suddenly thought your explanation is not very good for the pollution part. What do you talk about? Because I don't have the paper with me now. I think I download from your. It's okay, never mind. Hold on. What is the point you talk about pollution? You only have one point to disagree, right? Eh, hold on. Pollution, you can talk about negative externalities. You talk about carbon emissions, greenhouse gases, all this correct. You talk about the carbon emissions. I think you talk about carbon emissions, greenhouse effect can, climate change also can. But then I was expecting something, I want you to talk about the negative externalities. I want this word. I want you to have this word. or external cause. Ah, yeah, you talk about disease. You cannot talk about disease. Suddenly you talk about diseases, then that one a bit far. You talk about diseases, that one a bit too far. Okay, then you need to have one more point to disagree. Yes, correct. Increasing exports to agree also can. Thanks, COVID. That one can. How does it affect economy? Economy means the overall. That means I'm referring to the country, referring to the people, referring to the firms, referring to the business. When I use the word economy, right, that means it's a general keyword that I include everything. But the reason why you cannot get the marks is because you are focusing on improving skills and qualification, and also what productivity, the diseases. That one is too far because my question is asking you the impacts of an increase in air travel. Increase in air travel. Yeah. So therefore, the explanation is the thing that you want to work on. Yeah, that's why Kaisun, my tips is whenever you answer the question, always see back the question, see if you're answering or not. So therefore, the answers are here. You can take some answers here. So pollution point is a good point that you talk about the noise and air pollution, climate change, but you just add on negative externalities. Another answer you can talk about is it may reduce demand for other forms of transport. Like no one will use the sea traveling, so it may cause unemployment in the sea traveling sector. Okay. Okay, so this one is done. Hey, take for if you want to take picture of yourself, you take because I didn't screenshot, but there's a recording. Okay, good. Any other Q&A? I don't have any other Q&A at the moment. No. Any other question? So just remember when you answer the question, right? Always relate back. Always make sure that you're answering the question. Okay, that's my suggestion because sometimes I can see some of you can write until very far that becomes too far-fetched already. Okay, so far one thing is that we have done quite a number of papers. So you see these are the papers that we have done so far. Let me just sum up. We have done with this paper as well. 2026 February March. Paper 1 and paper 2. So that is very impressive. This is the class that I think we did a lot of the past year, and I'm very proud of you all. Very proud with all your achievement. Yeah, so this one no. Okay, so these are the paper that we had completed. That's very impressive. Time flies that we comes to the end of the class already. So any Q&A? Shall we take a quick picture together and I send in the WhatsApp group? Okay, can. Okay, then any question first or not? Before I stop recording, I know you all don't like it to be recorded when you want to open your cams. I understand. So any question or not? If not, I stop recording already. You ask me question, then it's not recorded though. No question? Really no question? Yeah, it's good lah because tomorrow exam already. What question you can ask? No other question really ma. So just relax only lah. Yeah, so yeah, that's all for today's lesson actually. If you have any Q&A, you can still ask. Okay, let me stop recording first.